to Slam, Legacy Wrestling Slam, Episode 5. Let's waste no time and get straight into the action. And we're going to start it off with an 82% Morrow and Aaron Stevens at the announce booth. We see Morrow in front of the ring saying, "Tonight we have one hell of a main event for you guys as Dakota Kai takes on Mickie James." Aaron Stevens says, "Brian Cage opens the show. Morrow, don't forget that," in which Morrow responds, "I won't, but also, Aaron, Insanity is in action, in addition to our Legacy Wrestling United States Champion, Taylor Rotunda, formerly known as Bo Dallas as well." Aaron Stevens, we will also take a look at the Legacy Wrestling World Championship Tournament video and continue our drive towards the first ever pay-per-view here at Legacy Wrestling, Bash at the Beach. Morrow says, "Mamma mia, what a show we have for you all on this edition of Slam." Aaron Stevens nods as Morrow has the camera focus on him, and all this is much more is happening on Legacy Slam tonight. So we're heading towards Bash at the Beach. We have this show and two more. The card is starting to fill out, but let's not waste any time. Let's continue here. We're going to open the show with Matt Cross and Brian Cage. It's only a 2.5 star, 55 overall. Matt Cross is losing some popularity apparently in Oceania and Africa, but the rest looks pretty good overall. So we have a 55 here for Matt Cross and Brian Cage, really to get Brian Cage a victory after his tough loss in the opening edition of Slam here. He's going to go ahead and cut a promo after the match and basically just celebrate in the ring. Still trying to figure out how all this works. Again, remember, I haven't really played this much outside of TEW, but I feel like we're getting the hang of it. 71% overall for Brian Cage. Alright, next up, we have Scarlett Bordeaux and Killer Kross backstage to a 75% overall, gaining popularity throughout. We see the camera finding Killer Kross angry as ever, and Scarlett Bordeaux walking in the back. And as if you recall from last event show, Kross advanced last week to next week's semifinal Slam edition, where he will be taking on, that's right, Johnny Gargano. Alright, 75 here. Let's keep it going. Next up, we have the champion, the Legacy Wrestling United States Champion, Taylor Rotunda, gets a 2.5 star, popularity gaining throughout, so not bad. He got a .42, .14 for Chris Ridgeway, alright, but a 57% overall. Next, after the match, though, we have Taylor Rotunda talking to the fans to an 81%. He says, as the bell sounds, "We are just a few weeks away from Bash at the Beach, and I, your Legacy Wrestling United States Champion, is cleared with management and would like to announce that come hell or high water," he continues talking, "this time at Bash at the Beach, we'll be defending my Legacy United States Championship in an open challenge." So I don't typically do a ton of open challenges, but I kind of like the gimmick for right now, given that we're still kind of building out Legacy Wrestling. So an 81% Bo Dallas has an open challenge coming at Bash at the Beach pay-per-view event. 81, Bo Dallas, a.k.a. Taylor Rotunda. Taylor Rotunda continuing his path of solid work here in Legacy Wrestling so far. Alright, next up, we get a hype featuring the Authors of Pain 100 again. Production quality, I guess, was well above, and a little bit, just little bumps of popularity, but saying they're still coming soon. Another promo video featuring them is shown with Ellering in the background. He says, "The Book of Pain has been written. The author has documented its trials." Clips of Acom and the Razor are shown. Ellering then finishes, "A new chapter begins soon." The light flashes on the screen as we fade out of the segment. 100% here with Acom and Razor. They're in pending debut, so I'm kind of excited to see what they do when they start wrestling, because as far as we know, their segments are working really well. 100% final score. Alright, next up, we have Insanity, Axel and Damo taking on Ethan Allen and Luke Jacobs of the Young Guns. A 2.5 star, 52% overall, popularity boost throughout. Kyoto was good. The announcing was great. So, I mean, there's that. We're still working on it. After the match, though, Axel and Damo motion to the race. They're declaring their intentions here in Legacy Wrestling. They're basically letting us know that they want to be the Legacy Wrestling World Tag Team Champions. Alright, next up, we're getting a hype video for Bash at the Beach now. A video airs hyping FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Harwood and Insanity. Apparently they knew what we didn't. The two have been booked against one another for Bash at the Beach. So kind of foreshadowing there with Axel and Damo. They're going to be facing Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood. So an FTR versus Insanity at Bash at the Beach. If you remember their NXT matches, they were absolutely fantastic. So I'm looking forward to see what we can pull out of it there. None of these four are really, super charismatic. So 43 is probably what I was to be expected here. Not terrible, though. Alright, next up, though, we have a huge segment. The production quality is well above what would be expected. Popularity gained throughout. A video hyping the 4 competitors remaining in the Legacy World Wrestling Championship tournament, where Johnny Gargano will be taking on Killer Cross and Claudio Castagnoli will be taking on Marty Scurll. The winner will be headed to Wrestling's Bash at the Beach to determine the Legacy Wrestling World Champion. So next week on Semifinal Slam, we're going to have Claudio taking on Marty and Johnny taking on Killer Cross. In the semifinals of the bracket, the winners of the 2 matches facing off at Bash at the Beach. 100. Very happy with that score. All right, next up, we had Johnny Gargano getting the victory over Mark Hastings in a 4-star match, 68 overall, popularity throughout. As the bell sounds, Johnny Gargano was declared the winner, with Killer Cross and Scarlett Bordeaux showing up on the ramp just to stare Johnny down as they're 1 week away from a huge match. They face off next week, guys, remember, at the semifinal slam to determine who's heading to Legacy Wrestling's Bash at the Beach to determine the first ever Legacy Wrestling champion. So that's the interference marker there. Killer Cross and Scarlett showing up after the match, letting Johnny know, hey, we're watching you. All right, next up, we got a segment with Vita Scott, Dominic Dijakovic, and Jeff Cobb. We're backstage now as Vita Scott's talking with Dominic. She says, last week you had one heck of a match against Killer Cross, Dominic, a match that saw Scarlett Bordeaux distract you to help Killer Cross gain the victory. Do you? Dominic puts his hand up. He says, let me stop you though, Vita. He just shakes his head. He says, hey, so yes, it didn't end the way I wanted to, but to say that Scarlett, up walks the Hawaiian Jeff Cobb, totally cutting him off here, and Jeff Cobb says, hey, to say Scarlett what, distracted you like she does all the other men is a lie. It's a joke, that you're better than that. Cobb continues. He says, you lost, Dominic, just like I did. The difference is I've gotten back on track while you're still floundering away and withering your own self-pity. Dijak simply laughs. He says, how would you meet me in the ring then, says Dijak. Cobb says, maybe, adds Cobb, but not tonight. Go lick your wounds. Cobb walks away, leaving Dijakovic with Vita looking onward. So we're kind of booking towards a 5th match, I believe. Probably a Bash at the Beach. I have 4 matches right now planned. We need a 5th one. It's a 2-hour show. I'm a huge fan of NXT Black and Gold, so they usually did 5, sometimes 6 matches. We're probably not going to do more on our pay-per-view events than that. We're going to keep it small and tight, and we're going to really build towards things. All right, the matches that are going to happen are going to matter. All right, next up, we're going to get a Dakota Kai entrance here. She's going to give us a 73, which is not bad, followed by her entrance. We're going to get Mickie James' entrance, of course, a 79. And let's get to that main event. Let's see what happens here. Mickie James, wow, she lost popularity pretty heavily. 1 point across the board. Dakota Kai goes 2 up across the board and a half in Africa. They enjoyed the entrances. Mercedes Martinez, though, was the distraction finish, causing the victory for Dakota Kai. As as the match settles here, let's see what it has. As the bell sounds, Mercedes Martinez stands over Mickie James and hits her finisher. Dead square in the ring, motions to the crowd afterwards, just taunting her. Dakota Kai, he gets the victory tonight thanks to the help of Mercedes Martinez. Mickie James out cold thanks to Martinez. The veteran heel is certainly laying it on thick. Mickie James, if we know her, will get her revenge sooner rather than later. So I'm building towards Mickie and Mercedes at the pay-per-view at Bash at the Beach. Dakota Kai is the recipient of some popularity thanks to Mercedes interfering with Mickie James. I do find it interesting. I said interference. I was hoping over here it was going to show interference. It didn't. That's all right. 67%. I'll just keep you guys apprised. So let's see what we got here. We got a 71. That was this last segment, I guess. That's what I just read. That's my bad. But so we had the interference by Dakota Kai, the last segment, post-main event here with a 79 overall. She attacks her, building towards the pay-per-view. Not bad. Let's see what we got to end the show here. So, again, 64, 62, 66, 63, now 67. So we haven't got to a 70 yet. We're hanging around popularity, though. We're gaining popularity as we go. I think if you add all this up, we've gained 1 point across the board. So it's going to take a time to build Legacy Wrestling, but I'm happy with the direction it's going. So stay with me, stay along. We're getting there. But until next time, it is me, Mikey Bro, here for Legacy Slam number 5, wishing you a glorious day. We'll have 2 more editions of Slam as we head to the Bash at the Beach pay-per-view. Thanks for watching, everyone.